First, I would like to thank all those whom I borrowed images from on the internet for this video. Should YouTube take it down and show only fake news as they do, it can be viewed at my WWIIIandJane.com website. This is about a Chinese leader that is behaving like a mafia thug. My question to Congress is, are you people asleep? Do you need another Pearl Harbor? You're so busy with a virus the Chinese president created as a distraction away from his lying and thieving and poaching away in every country in the world. Xi Jinping should be on America's most wanted list and the CIA's most wanted terrorist list. He is using the same tactics that Iran is using by threatening nuclear war so he can get away with this thuggery. By doing so, he dares anyone stop him from stealing land and fish supplies from every country he can get his filthy fingers away from. Yeah, this leader sends huge fishing boats anywhere he can, and they're protected with military ships. This is like a thug breaking into your house and using gunmen while he steals. In the meantime, Xi is saying they are only there to sightsee. Recently, they have been spotted raiding the Galapagos Island of fish. Anything that isn't a fish, such as a whale, porpoise, and seal, are ground up into dog food. They're stealing and taking every animal in the ocean they can net. This is an article that was taken from Fox News 2021. It's broken down to the highlights. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but Pompeo last month called Chinese actions deeply troubling. Okay, the news report was basically saying these Chinese fishing vessels are now entering Ecuador's exclusive economic zone around the Galapagos Islands multiple times. These ships illegally turned off their automatic identification system tracking on numerous occasions before pings of radio frequency activity were detected nearby in Ecuadorian waters. Ecuador's Navy alerted to a strong Chinese fleet near the islands, and Pompeo calls out the Chinese for illegally fishing after vessels were spotted near the island. Over the summer, some 250 ships were discovered by the Ecuadorian Navy, but nobody can do anything about it. They need to sink some of those ships. That's the only way they understand it works for those other countries. And for this, I have some interesting news for the Chinese. I can say that because Chinese warships have sunk hundreds of small boats in waters it suddenly claimed, killing many innocent fishermen from North Korea, South Korea, Japan, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Vietnam, and no one blinks. Only 4 countries have stood up to China, proving that China is not about to start a major war. Surprisingly, one was North Korea sinking some Chinese fishing boats in its water. The second was Indonesia sinking them. A third country was Argentina, and a fourth was Russia. They were all sending a clear message: you poach, we sink. So why is America such a coward pussy? Oh, I know, political correctness is in charge, dumbing down our military forces around the world. Vice President is trying to look sexy instead of intelligent with her stiletto heelers and phony-looking stockings. Isn't it time that our incompetent pussy Secretary of the Navy and Thomas W. Hawker get his head out of his behind? General Patton would have never allowed the Chinese to get away with as much as they have. Why wait for them to build more war weapons? Yeah, this is my message to the Chinese people. If war does break out, I hope the Chinese people can see what can happen to their country. For one, America has many countries that will back it with nukes. China has none and will stand alone. Once the war is over, the most likely scenario is that all surrounding countries to China will each divide the country, much like happened to Germany after World War II. It sure made the Germans behave. Spread the word, something bad is coming, and it is worse than COVID-19 virus. and our Washington representatives are all to blame. Pearl Harbor was a wake-up call, and how quickly we forget. Listen up, Secretary of the Navy and Hawker. Maybe you have not noticed that China has over 5,000 fishing ships roaming the oceans. What would it take to arm them with SAM missiles? Would you be able to tell? China is setting the stage for an attack, no doubt, hitting Hawaii, Guam, and such island military locations, along with hitting the Pacific and Atlantic coast military shipyards such as Norfolk, San Diego, Oregon, and Washington State. And they can easily be attacked with missile-firing boats. Look out, Pentagon and Washington, D.C. You learned nothing from 9/11 attacks disguised and attacked by and fooled by Muslim terrorists, not once but twice. What fools the CIA promoting incompetent leadership with paper degrees and little knowledge of human knowledge? Listen up, Secretary of the Navy and Hawker. Maybe you haven't noticed that China has over 5,000 fishing ships roaming the ocean. What would it take to arm them with SAM missiles? Would you be able to tell? China is setting the stage for an attack, no doubt, hitting Hawaii, Guam, and such island military locations, along with hitting Pacific and Atlantic coast military shipyards. Don't be fooled again. We don't need another Pearl Harbor or another 9/11 because you people in Washington are asleep at the truth, bending over for political correctness for some of these terrorist countries is a big mistake. By the way, I suggested almost 30 years ago to make Washington, D.C. a museum without all that garbage security fencing and move somewhere in the middle of the USA, mostly built underground for nuclear safety and more. The only access would be the new access would be much like Area 51, and only accessible by plane, train, or bus. No more riding armed attacks, and located far with sufficient time to tackle incoming missiles versus close to the coast where Washington presently sits like a sitting stupid duck. Thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up so others will see it, and visit us at www.larryandjane.com.